Some economists say 1992 has already contributed to Europe's current economic boom, but many in the U.S. are worried that American companies will be shut out. One American company that certainly will not be is Toys R Us. It is already a rousing success in England and Germany, and it's just beginning to move in the Paris suburbs. Well, Jeff Madrick tells us now that it is a classic example of what American business still does best.
It is simply one of the great post-war retail businesses of America. There are 350 Toys R Us across the land, some 55 in foreign countries. All highly organized toy supermarkets, all the same size, all of which look just like this one. The games are arranged in alphabetical order. The toys are carefully stocked and closely tallied. One truck of goods goes to only one store to minimize losses and maximize efficiency. And altogether, Toys R Us produces about $4 billion in sales and $250 million in profits. While a Toys R Us store looks easy to run, no competitor has come close to duplicating its success.
Yahtzee is one of the biggest selling games.
Founder and chairman Charles Lazarus is not merely a master of marketing, but also of warehousing and inventory control and personnel management, of business on a mass scale.
All the coloring books, markers, crayons, Crayola, tremendous, tremendous. Absolutely.
By doing all that very well, his toy supermarkets are able to offer customers about the best prices around. Lazarus started in his father's bicycle repair shop in Washington, D.C. after World War II. His retail concept blossomed in the 1950s.
Once, the kids sometimes ask me, how did you ever get to be that big? And I said, well, one day I decided to open the second store. And after that, it seemed to get easier.
Do you ever wake up now and say, my gosh, this is an American dream come true?
Yes, I do. And I'm very thankful for it.
But with American business being beaten in so many places around the world, Lazarus is also at the vanguard of another mission. He's bringing what is best about American business, marketing, and distribution to the rest of the world, most recently France. And it is no exaggeration to say that he is conquering it. Lazarus' first overseas store was opened near London. It was a smash. After several more successes, he opened a store in Frankfurt, Germany. Here again, he broke new ground and earned unprecedented success.
We said, wow, look at all these people and look how little choice they have in product. The English, it's like reading a newspaper of 20 years ago. They sold all their toys in small shops, and people wait on you behind counters, and they have glass cases, and you want to see a doll, they bring it out. And if you wanted a game they didn't have in stock, they would order it for you, you'd get it 3 days later. They didn't have any kind of selection.
In fact, Toys R Us in Europe may well prove how uniform the world's taste really is. Children in America, or in Germany, or Britain buy most of the same toys. Joseph Basco is in charge of international operations for Toys R Us.
We believe that more than any other retailer, that price is an important proposition wherever you are in the world, whatever your social or economic status might be. And probably the last one is that to us, the customer is king. That's very novel in Europe.
But what Toys R Us also brings to Europe, whose single biggest market so far has only 1/4 the U.S. population, is the ability to do business on a mass scale. And Lazarus is one businessman who thinks Europe's movement to become one market by 1992 may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Americans who know what the Europeans don't, how to manage size. This fall, Toys R Us will open 5 stores in France, and they have already got their highly efficient warehouse ready to serve more than 20 stores in the country.
Right now, these rows are being set up to stage the merchandise for the stores. If you take a 40-foot container, the normal truck that people see on the street, to fill the store, it takes 70 of those trucks.
European vendors are stunned. They are accustomed to a store buying 2 or 3 items here or there. Toys R Us buys virtually everything, and in huge quantities.
The biggest competitor that we'll have in France are the hypermarkets, which are big, and the people are accustomed to shopping in them. They're probably, 300,000, 250,000 square feet. They're huge stores. But the problem, again, is they carry about 1,000 different items in toys. Well, we'll offer about 20,000 items. And the price will probably be very comparable, if not probably less than what they'll sell it for.
Our parking lot is going to be all this part where you see this house.
And Toys R Us picks locations in Europe like they do in the U.S., with, well, a kind of frontier spirit that is well ahead of the pack. Toys R Us chose this site because it's in the heart of a fast-growing bedroom community. It's about 30 minutes from Paris by car, only a few minutes from the Palace of Versailles. And eventually, Toys R Us thinks the entire field behind us will be developed by other retailers. Construction on the new site is going to start almost immediately. It is all distinctly American, and Lazarus thinks businessmen here may be missing the 1992 opportunity.
It's kind of the same thing. Reminds me, the Beltway opened in Washington, D.C., and very few people had the vision to understand what that would mean to traffic moving around the District of Columbia into Maryland and Virginia. The good merchants understood it, and they got very close to the exitways and so on. Now, these same kinds of beltways are being built all around European cities today, and we're looking to put stores off those exits again because we know very well what will happen.
But will this market become homogenized by the toy supermarket, addicted to brand names? Will these countries lose their distinct character?
No, there'll be more choice because we'll buy everybody. I think that children all over the world play with the same things, and that will bring peace to the world. It may sound a little corny, but I think it's true that if everybody plays with a Barbie doll and everybody plays with a Lego set, how can you fight with somebody who played with the same toys you did?
Isn't it pretty to think so? Wrote Hemingway to end one of his novels set in Paris. For Sunday Today, Jeff Madrick, NBC News, Paris.